won't tell you this, but the world isn't designed to value the quiet warrior. You know the one who shows up, stays late, does what's right, even when no one's watching. You. But somewhere along the line, they made you believe that if they don't praise you, you must be invisible. If they don't clap, you must be unworthy. If they don't see your light, you must not be shining. No, the truth is far darker than that, and far more liberating. Because the feeling of being undervalued isn't your death sentence. It's your awakening. It's the moment the mask is ripped off, the blindfold shredded, and you realize the world doesn't owe you appreciation. You owe it to yourself to rise without it. So what do you do when they overlook you? When they take your loyalty for granted? When your worth is buried beneath the noise of louder, flashier cowards? You don't beg. You don't fold. You don't shrink. You sharpen. You master the silent arts that make you unstoppable. Techniques forged in the fire of being ignored and built to make you undeniable. Let me show you. 1. Withdraw your energy. Reclaim your fire. There is a cost to every moment you spend trying to be seen. Every text you send hoping for validation. Every effort you make to prove you're good enough. Every time you say yes when your soul screams no. It drains you. Not in an obvious way. Not like a wound, but like a leak beneath the surface. Slow, constant, fatal. And when you feel undervalued, it's because you're still giving, still offering pieces of your soul to people who don't even look up from their plates as they devour you. But here's the truth that will free you if you let it. The fire inside you doesn't die from neglect. It dies from misdirection. You've been giving your light to those who can't hold it, pouring your essence into relationships, jobs, systems, and roles that were never built to contain your worth. So now, you stop. Not out of anger, not to make a scene, not to get attention, but because your energy is sacred, and your fire is not a community fireplace. The silent extraction. You don't announce this move. You don't explain your worth to those too blind to see it. You don't write long messages or beg for understanding. You vanish from the places that drained you, from the people who saw you as a resource, not a being, from the cycles that tricked you into trading your fire for approval. The power of silence is atomic, because when you stop feeding the unworthy, they starve. And when they finally notice your absence, it's too late. Because you didn't just walk away. You took back the fuel that kept their delusions alive. Redirect the flame. Now that you've reclaimed it, your energy must be redirected. If you don't choose where it flows, it'll find its way back into the cracks of your old patterns. So here's what you do. Pour it into mastery. Let your hunger evolve into skill. Pour it into solitude. Let your silence sharpen your clarity. Pour it into physical action. Let your body become a temple of resilience. Pour it into creation. Let the same pain they ignored become the fuel that builds empires. The fire doesn't ask for permission. It just burns. So burn deliberately, not to destroy, but to forge. Feel the shift. You'll feel it in waves. At first, it'll be painful. You'll feel the void where their attention used to be. Even if it was hollow, you'll feel alone. That's okay. You're not lonely. You're detoxing. The withdrawal is brutal because you were addicted to being undervalued. Addicted to the false comfort of familiarity. But once the poison leaves your system, you'll feel it. that sharpness returning to your mind, that weight lifting from your chest, that hunger, real hunger, for your own life finally waking up. Let them feel the cold. Let them wonder what happened to the version of you that was always available. Let them question why their manipulation stopped working. Let them search for the warmth that used to come easy. But don't go back. Not even if they change their tone. Not even if they start noticing you. Not even if they swear they finally see your value. Because this moment, this pulling back of your energy, is not revenge. It's a rebirth. You don't get to keep your fire and give it away to people who mock it. You don't get to feel powerful while allowing others to sip from your spirit like it's tap water. You don't get to rise until you protect what's fueling you. So pull it back. Reclaim it. Let it swirl inside your chest until it becomes unignorable. Then, set your sights forward, not to be noticed, but to become undeniable. Your energy is no longer for everyone. It's for you. And that changes everything. 2. Go dark. But don't go weak. There's a silence more powerful than a scream. A retreat more deadly than an attack. A disappearance that doesn't mean surrender. It means preparation. This is where the unvalued become untouchable. Not by crying out. Not by demanding recognition. But by turning inward and building in the shadows. Let's get something clear. Going dark isn't the same as giving up. It's not weakness. It's warrior strategy. When you feel undervalued, most will lash out. They'll beg louder, try harder, throw themselves into the spotlight, hoping to finally be seen. But not you. You vanish. Not out of fear, but out of focus. The power of the void. When you go dark, you create mystery. You create distance. You disrupt the pattern where they expected you to perform, to please, to play along. And in that void, they begin to feel it. Not your words, not your presence, but your absence. Your silence becomes the loudest statement you've ever made. Because while they scroll, gossip, and repeat the same tired patterns, you're in the shadows, leveling up in silence. The same silence they thought was weakness becomes the birthplace of your transformation. The work done in darkness becomes unstoppable in the light. This is where you do the deep work no one sees. You train, you read, you learn, you meditate, you bleed, quietly, with purpose. You build an arsenal so sharp, when you return, you don't need to explain anything. Because real power doesn't announce itself. It arrives. The gym, the journal, the books, the business, the discipline, the solitude. This is your fortress now. While others post, you prepare. While others party, you push. While others distract, you forge. Because you know something they don't. The longer you're in the dark, the more adapted to the fire you become. Starve the need for approval. Understand this. Going dark means killing the addiction to being seen. That approval? It's a drug. And like all drugs, the high fades and the crash destroys. You've got to starve that need until you no longer look to others to confirm your value. Until you become self-fueled, self-fed, self-powered. You no longer check the phone hoping for the message. You no longer fish for compliments or recognition. You no longer bend to be chosen. Because you chose you. And that is the moment you shift from needing the world to owning your path through it. Monitor your inner voice. In the dark, the only voice you hear is your own. So ask yourself, is it strong? Is it disciplined? Or is it echoing every doubt they ever fed you? This is where the real battle is fought. You must reprogram your mind to stop seeking external permission. You must remind yourself daily, I am not less because they don't see me. I am more because I no longer care. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. You're not rejecting others. You're returning to yourself. Become the phantom they regret losing. When you go dark, you become legend. Not the loud one, but the one who stopped showing up and came back unrecognizable. Not bitter, not broken, but built. Let them wonder what happened to you. Let them whisper about your absence. Let them regret taking you for granted. And when you return with silence still in your eyes, but storms in your fists. Return with a glow that screams, you should have appreciated me when you had the chance. Return, not to be praised, but to dominate. Going dark is not escape. It's evolution. You are not hiding. You are becoming. Let them forget you. Because when you re-emerge, they'll wish they hadn't. 3. Audit the mirror. Burn the lies. You've been living under a spell. A lie repeated so many times, it became your truth. A distorted reflection you mistook for identity. And now, when you look in the mirror, you don't even see you anymore. You see a version of yourself, twisted by years of silent rejection, subtle mockery, and chronic underappreciation. But here's the truth. Most will never tell you. If you feel undervalued, it's not just because they failed to see your worth. It's because you started believing them. You internalized the shrug. You absorbed the indifference. You made their blindness your burden. And it has to stop. Right here. Right now. The mirror is lying to you. Smash it. That mirror doesn't show your power. It reflects your programming. What was installed by toxic parents who never validated you, manipulative partners who gaslit your strength, friends who only stuck around when you were the one giving, jobs that worked you like a machine and discarded you like trash, a society that profits off your insecurity. Your reflection is polluted, and it's time to audit it. Not gently, not with pity, but with ruthless precision. Ask the real questions. It's time to interrogate that image. Who told me I wasn't good enough? Why did I believe them? What have I tolerated because I thought I had to? Where did I begin to shrink just to fit in? When did I abandon myself for approval? These aren't just questions. They're blades. And you'll need them to cut through the fog of false identity. Because the person you were taught to be isn't the person you were born to become. Burn the old script. The old you was built on survival, on fitting in, on pleasing others, on lowering your voice and dimming your light, so no one felt uncomfortable around your greatness. Burn it all. Burn the idea that you have to be liked to be valuable. Burn the lie that your emotions make you weak. Burn the belief that you're behind in life. Burn the fake humility that keeps you small. Burn the need to be chosen. Because the truth is this: you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You were misled. And now, with the match in your hand, you light the fire that ends the illusion. Rebuild from brutal honesty. Now that the lies are gone, the rebuilding begins. This isn't about affirmations or feel-good slogans. This is about reclaiming your mind through radical self-honesty. Here's what that sounds like. I've tolerated too much, and that's on me. But that stops now. I may have believed their lies, but I have the power to unlearn them. I am not here to fit in. I'm here to become. I don't need their validation to walk in my value. This new inner dialogue is your armor. Repeat it until it becomes louder than the noise outside you, until your mind no longer echoes their judgment, but your truth. See yourself with unflinching eyes. Stand in front of that mirror, not to admire, not to criticize, but to see. Look at the pain you've carried. Look at the rage buried under your skin. Look at the tired eyes of someone who's been giving, and say, no more. Then look deeper. See the fire that's still burning. See the scars that shaped you, but never broke you. See the warrior they tried to domesticate. You are not a victim of neglect. You are a weapon forged in its flames. They don't have to believe in you. You do. No one else is coming to rescue you from this feeling. No applause is coming. No perfect moment of recognition. No sudden wave of appreciation. But that's the gift. Because it means you're free. Free from dependency. Free from waiting. Free from bending. You become unstoppable the moment you believe in yourself with the same intensity you once begged others to give you. You don't need them to value you. You need to see yourself clearly enough that you never question your worth again. Final thought. The mirror won't fix itself. You must shatter the false reflection they handed you and carve your own image into the firelit walls of your new life. This is the moment. See yourself. Own yourself. Honor yourself. And walk forward, not to be seen, but to be unmistakable. 4. Create in the shadows. Let the work speak. So, they didn't see you. They didn't recognize the effort. Didn't acknowledge the late nights. Didn't care about the way you bled in silence to keep things together. They dismissed you. They devalued you. They thought you'd stay small forever. And here's the most dangerous part. They assumed your silence meant surrender. Good. Let them. Let them misread your quiet. Let them think your disappearance means defeat. Because while they laugh, you build. While they post, you plot. While they look for attention, you build something unignorable. Silence is the forge. The greatest transformations don't happen in public. They happen in the shadows, where there's no applause, no cameras, no praise, just the cold, relentless grind of someone who's had enough. You don't need more people to notice you. You need more time in the forge. This is where the real war is won. Behind closed doors, away from the eyes of the world. While everyone else is performing, you're becoming. Let discipline do the talking. There is no greater flex than consistency, no louder message than transformation. Don't waste your time trying to explain who you are. Don't post your every move for likes and validation. Don't scream into a void hoping they'll finally get it. Let your results do the speaking. Let the body you've built, business you've launched, skills you've mastered, habits you've refined, be your reply. Because when your life becomes evidence, you don't need arguments. You don't need recognition. You simply exist as proof. The best revenge is mastery. They thought you peaked, thought they could box you in, label you, control you, bury you under their low expectations. Perfect. Because now, every ounce of energy they spent doubting you becomes fuel for your rise. And when you rise, it won't be to shout at them. You're not rising to prove a point. You're rising because staying buried was never your destiny. Master your craft. Build your empire. Turn your pain into product. Turn your silence into systems. By the time they look up, you'll be too far gone for them to reach. Fall in love with obsession. In the shadows, There's no one clapping, no one asking how you feel, no dopamine hits of approval. There's just you and the work. And that's where your relationship with obsession begins. You fall in love with progress. You fall in love with the day no one sees. You fall in love with the agony of growth. Because in that pain, you see who you really are. And you become addicted, not to attention, but to improvement. That kind of obsession, it's rare, it's dangerous, it's elite. It makes you immune to trends, hype, opinions. It makes you a storm no one can outrun. Starve the ego. Feed the vision. The ego wants noise. It wants applause. It wants credit. But the vision wants results. It wants legacy. So you learn to shut the ego up, to tell it, no, we're not posting that progress picture. No, we're not bragging about that small win. Because your energy isn't going into validation anymore. It's going into immortality. You don't want to be noticed for a moment. You want to be remembered for generations. So you keep your head down. You keep building. You keep bleeding into your craft until it becomes undeniable. That's the mark of a true warrior. Outwork the doubt. Outlast the critics. You don't need to silence them with words. You silence them with longevity. They'll mock you now. They'll roll their eyes. They'll pretend they didn't notice your rise. But they'll watch. And eventually, they'll have no choice but to respect you. Because time is undefeated. And the one who stays in the shadows long enough becomes the one who controls the light. You're not building for likes. You're building for legacy. Final words for step 4. You're in the shadows now, but you won't stay there forever. One day, they'll look around and realize the one they ignored became the one they can't escape. Not because you yelled louder, but because you created deeper. Let the work speak, and when it does, it won't whisper. It'll roar. 5. Break the cycle. Rewrite the pattern. You weren't born broken. You were programmed. Programmed by a culture that teaches obedience before identity. By families that confuse control with love. By systems that thrive off your silence, your exhaustion, your endless output without recognition. And now you feel undervalued. But what if that feeling isn't the problem? What if it's the signal? The alarm that your spirit has outgrown the script? Because the truth is this: most people don't feel undervalued. They feel stuck, and they call it normal. You feel it in your bones, that something deeper is wrong, that the loop you're in isn't just unfair, it's unnatural. So stop, break the cycle, rewrite the pattern, before it becomes your prison. You were taught to settle. Reject that lesson. They told you to be grateful, to keep your head down, to wait your turn. But what they really meant was, don't become too powerful. Don't disrupt the system. Don't outgrow your role. You were raised on crumbs of appreciation, taught that validation is earned through sacrifice, that your worth only exists if others see it. No, that ends now. You don't need their permission to outgrow their expectations. You don't need to wait to be chosen. You choose yourself. And in that moment, the old pattern starts to crack. Identify the pattern that's keeping you small. Every cycle has a blueprint. It's not random. It's repetition. You overextend. You get ignored. You suppress the rage. You tell yourself it's fine. You do it again. It's a silent loop, and it's lethal. So what's your pattern? Do you overgive, hoping they'll finally notice? Do you shrink your voice so others feel comfortable? Do you doubt yourself the second someone disapproves? Name it. Expose it. Drag it into the light and say, You will not rule me anymore. Because once you see the loop, you can break it. Reprogram yourself like a warrior. Breaking the cycle means reprogramming your mind. Not with fluff, not with pretty affirmations, but with raw rewiring. Here's how it starts. Reverse the default. If you usually say yes, try no. If you usually apologize, stand firm. If you normally seek validation, validate yourself. Interrupt the loop. Catch the moment you begin to repeat the same behavior. Pause, breathe, do something different, even if it terrifies you. Reinforce the new identity. Say it, out loud. I am not here to be used. I am here to become. I no longer perform for crumbs. I build kingdoms. Every action you take becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. So vote wisely and vote daily. Understand, the old you must die. If you want to be free, the version of you that tolerated the disrespect, that begged for acknowledgement, that watered themselves down to survive, must die. Not gently, not with nostalgia, but like a ritual execution. Because that old self isn't you. It's a coping mechanism, a mask you wore to survive environments that didn't know how to value you. But survival isn't enough anymore. You're here to thrive, to dominate, to own the room without shrinking, to walk with the weight of someone who knows their value, even if no one else does. So bury the old self. Mourn them. Thank them for getting you this far. Then rise, unapologetically. Create a new pattern built on power. Patterns don't just disappear. They must be replaced. So here's the new loop. You protect your energy. You act from self-respect, not desperation. You speak less, but say more. You invest only in what builds you. You track your growth like a general maps a war. This pattern doesn't require anyone to value you. It's self-sustaining, because your power no longer comes from outside. It comes from within. Every step forward you take under this new program reinforces the truth. I am not who they made me to be. I am who I chose to become. Reject the role. Recast yourself. You've been playing a role written by cowards, by manipulators, by systems that fear your power. So throw away the script. Fire the director. Walk off their stage and build your own arena. This is not rebellion. This is rebirth. You don't need their spotlight. You'll light your own damn fire, and they'll gather around it in awe, wondering how you did it. Let them wonder. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be unmatched. Final words. For step 5, the cycle is a lie. The pattern is poison. And the only way to win is to become something they cannot ignore. Break the loop. Burn the mask. Rebuild the system from the inside out. You are not here to repeat. You are here to redefine. And now, the pattern belongs to you. Bonus step. Become the source. Stop waiting to be fueled. There's a moment in every warrior's path where the rage fades, the applause dies out, the enemies disappear, and all that remains is silence. And in that silence, a truth is revealed. No one is coming. Not to validate you, not to uplift you, not to notice your worth, not to fight for you. And the longer you wait, the longer your potential stays dormant, the longer you stay chained to their neglect. But here's the paradox that most will never grasp. The second you stop seeking fuel from the outside, you become the fire. This is the moment you become the source of your energy, of your confidence, of your purpose, of your power. You stop depending on their recognition like a beggar hoping for crumbs. You build your own table, and you feast alone if necessary. Because when you become the source, you become undeniable. Detach from the need. Reclaim the control. Every time you base your worth on someone else's actions, the text that never came, the compliment that was withheld, the raise you didn't get, the love you had to beg for, you're giving them control of your temperature. You're saying, "Tell me how hot I can burn today." No more. From now on, you decide. You wake up and choose your energy. You choose your focus. You choose how much you give. You choose who gets access to the kingdom you're building. They don't like it? Let them burn outside the gates. Fuel yourself with purpose, not people. You've relied on people too long, and people are inconsistent. They project, they envy, they forget. But purpose? Purpose doesn't flinch. Purpose whispers through every setback. Keep going. Purpose fuels the lonely nights with clarity. Purpose makes discipline sacred. Purpose doesn't need to be seen, because it sees you. So ask yourself, why do I wake up? What's worth enduring for? What kingdom am I building, even if no one claps? That's your fuel now. Not compliments, not followers, not fake love. Purpose. And when your purpose becomes your source, you become a furnace no one can extinguish. Be the flame that lights others without going out. There's a new level of power that comes from self-sourcing your fire. You stop shrinking to be liked. You stop explaining to be understood. You stop sacrificing your essence for temporary affection. Instead, you burn with consistency. And here's what happens next. People start asking how you glow without praise. They wonder how you show up with energy, unshaken by setbacks. They try to decipher the secret, and the answer is simple. You stopped needing. You started becoming. You lit yourself, and now you walk through life as your own sun. And the best part? You don't burn out, because you're not depending on anyone else to keep the fire going. You've learned to tend the flame yourself. The ultimate power, sovereignty. This is what becoming the source truly means. You are no longer reactive. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer begging to be seen, heard, or loved. You are sovereign, which means you are self-generating. You are self-fueling. You are self-reliant, but not in a bitter way. Not in a, I don't need anyone kind of pride. You walk with peace. Because you know you don't need anyone to be whole. And in that truth, you attract everything you used to chase. Because people feel it. That unshakable energy. That furnace of self-worth. That calm power that says, I am not seeking. I am building final words for the bonus step. This is your final evolution, becoming the source. You no longer search for fire in others. You no longer give them the power to dim your light. You no longer dance for scraps of attention from those unworthy of your presence. You light the fire yourself. You build the discipline yourself. You become the storm, the light, the heat, yourself. And when they ask, how did you rise? You'll smile and say, I stopped waiting for someone to see me. I became someone they couldn't ignore. Now rise, not to be fueled, but to fuel everything you touch. You are the fire now. So now you know. This pain you carry, the ache of being overlooked, the silence you sit in, it was never your curse. It was your summons. A call to awaken the parts of you buried beneath years of rejection, quiet suffering, and broken patterns. And through that fire, step by step, you rose. You withdrew your energy and reclaimed your fire from the leeches who never deserved it. You went dark, not to escape, but to evolve. You audited the mirror and shattered the lies they tattooed onto your self-image. You created in the shadows, turning silence into power and invisibility into mastery. You broke the cycle, rejecting their scripts and writing your own destiny. And when the dust settled, you realized something even deeper. You never needed them to believe in you. You just needed to believe in yourself. But that wasn't the end. The final move, the ultimate transformation, was this. You became the source, the fuel, the fire, the unbreakable center that no longer waits to be seen. Because you know who you are. Let them sleep on you. Let them doubt you. Let them pretend they forgot your name. It changes nothing. Because the next time they hear about you, it won't be from your mouth. It'll be from your results, from your presence, from the impact you left behind. They don't value you. Good. That means you're free to rise without their permission, to build without their approval, to dominate without their applause. You are the fire now. You are the storm. You are the legend they failed to see. And by the time they finally realize it, you'll be too far gone for them to catch. Keep building, and let your silence be the loudest thing they never recover from.